Frost just putting in a slightly more chancy leap towards the outside of Roycano, who's quickly on to the second, and Roycano jumps well up along the inside for John Dawson as a pair of them begin to now make their run towards the four fences up this section of the track. They'll jump fences 3, 4, 5 and 6 in this line, and then they'll head out towards the far side of the track where they'll have fences 7 and 8 to negotiate. Heading on towards the third, Roycano, John Dawson jumping well from River Frost and Joe Wright towards the near side. Moving on towards fence number 4, the first of a pair of ditches that they'll take on their way round in this 3-mile journey. Roycano jumping well towards the inside of River Frost, moving on towards the 5th. And Roycano, green and black colours, John Dawson to the inside, joined by the quarters of 2 shades of blue of River Frost, now just a little bit wider on the course as they make their journey at a very sedate early tempo towards the 6th. Roycano and River Frost jumping pretty much inseparably out over that 6th fence, and now heading left-handed up the hill towards the far side with the thick end of 2 miles still to cover in this penultimate race here at Easingwold this afternoon. This is the Yore Auctions Yorkshire Area Conditions Race, a level 2 contest, and they're heading off into the far side where fences 7 and 8 await them. Roycano in the green and black colours, River Frost the 2 shades of blue, a pair of them off into the back straight negotiating fence number 7, both jumping in well, again a little less than a half length between the pair, with Roycano towards the inner still, just holding out River Frost, and Joe Wright coming towards the 8th. Roycano again slick and nimble towards the inside. River Frost was not shabby at it either, and is still only a half length or so away from Roycano as they begin to come left-handed and head to their point of departure, and swinging left-handed on the descent down the hill towards fences 9 and 10 on this occasion. Roycano looking to make every post a winning one. John Dawson, who rode his 200th winner at Corbridge last week, aboard Roycano in the green and black colours to the inner. River Frost, Joe Wright. Joe's had rides at both Cheltenham and Aintree this year, and is jumping well aboard River Frost towards the outside. So they're turning left-handed now and beginning to run in front of the enclosures once again. Roycano, the green and black colours to the inside, Joe Wright and River Frost towards the outer. The pair of them very closely matched in the bedding beforehand on most boards, and nothing separating them running towards the ditch for the final time. River Frost, possibly for the first time in the race, just shading on now from Roycano. Both of them very nimble at that fence. Roycano still just emerging with the overall advantage, going towards the 13th. Roycano on the inside, again slick and low at it, jumped well from River Frost in the 2 shades of blue out wide. A pair of them moving on towards 5 out, final fence in this line. And again they're both inseparable over it, and swinging left-handed with less than a mile to cover now. Roycano and River Frost, the pace possibly just beginning to increase for the first time. Roycano's never left the inside, River Frost always just been held out, but Joe Wright content to travel just a little bit wider on the course. They're making the journey into the far side with just 4 fences left to jump, thick end of 3/4 of a mile still to travel. Roycano and River Frost coming towards 4 out. Again, both jumping it well. Slicker jump maybe just came from River Frost out wide. Roycano still travelling very powerfully though on the inner for John Dawson, making the long run down to the third last. Roycano and River Frost jumping it well again. They've got about 3.5 furlongs left to travel from this point, and Roycano and River Frost, they've never given each other a moment's peace to this point, and River Frost on the outside just again shading on from Roycano, who's pushed along for the first time under John Dawson, now coming down the hill with 2 to jump. River Frost out wide, Joe Wright, Roycano the inner, John Dawson both still travelling okay, seemingly running to 2 out. Roycano and River Frost. Roycano asked for a big jump, he delivered for John Dawson. River Frost towards the outside, beginning to now get the hurry up from Joe Wright. He's moving on by a length and running down to the last, both jumping well again. River Frost on the outside just with about a length and a half's advantage, running on up the hill. They've got 150 yards left to cover, and it's just now Joe Wright and River Frost who's asserting running up the hill, and Joe Wright and River Frost will go on to win, beating Roycano into second. A very close match indeed.